February 19th, 2018. It was a different time back then. Plasma Pulse Finale was by far the hardest thing in the game. The RGB was still in the top 10, and Succubin Hell was still in the top 20. Unbeknownst to the community at the time, history would be made one day later. Something that had been hyped up for almost 2 years had finally come to a close. This event would rock the community and lead towards some of the biggest controversy ever seen in this game. February 20th, 2018. Bloodlust was verified. Nobbleboy had finally beaten the legendary Extreme Demon and had uploaded the video on this date. All of his hard work had finally paid off. This was the greatest top 1 of all time, and forever will be. Or so we thought. In this video, I will be going through all of the top 1s and ranking them from worst to best. Where does your favorite top 1 place on this list? Stick around to find out. Let's get started. To kick off this list, I'm going to put Heaven and Hell as the worst top 1 this game has ever seen. Ever. This was by far the easiest decision on this list. Unbalanced, uninspired, and repetitive gameplay, orb spam, and random flashbangs basically make this the least playable top 1 that I have ever seen. Not only that, but this level has no history behind it, so I can't even give it any slack for being interesting. The only thing interesting about this level is how bad it is. Next one. Unnerfed Stereo Demoness is really bad. It has gameplay that is not only repetitive, but the opposite of fun. Terrible colors and terrible decoration. But at least you can't get worse than Heaven and Hell. Unlike Heaven and Hell, this level is at least bearable, and has some quote-unquote art in it. This just looks terrible, but it seems like Majako tried really hard to make this somewhat unique, so pity points basically carry this level above Heaven and Hell at the number 29th spot. My pick for the number 28th best top 1 is Element 111 RG. This pick might be a bit controversial, as a lot of people now feel this attachment to this level ever since Stormfly's video, but once you actually take an objective look at it, you'll realize that this level is not all that good. Like most of the gameplay at the time, it is not fun and it is repetitive. The decoration also leaves much to be desired. To be honest, this level only has 2 things going for it. It has a very interesting history, and it has one of the coolest secret ways that I have ever seen in a level. Just look at it. Other than that, it doesn't have anything that I like, so it doesn't get high scores. Next on my list is Silent Club. I believe it is better than Element 111 RG because it introduces many more unique ideas, and for the most part, the decoration is not nearly as bland. Sure, it may not look good, but there's something there that resembles decoration, unlike Element 111 RG, which doesn't really have that. Like, at least the creator tried to make it look alright, and it isn't nearly as repetitive. But it still is at spot 27, which means that something is terrible about it. Just because it is good compared to Element 111 RG, doesn't mean it is a good level that is fun to play. Orb spam, mirror portals, messy decoration, repetitive gameplay, and really poor balancing grounds this level near the bottom of the list. BP Night takes the number 26 spot. This level is not that great of a level, at all, but I think it is better than Silent Club. The main reason for why I think it is better than Silent Club is because the decoration is much more bearable, and because this level has better balancing than Silent Club, it looks to be much more enjoyable. The reason why it is at the bottom of this list is because it is very repetitive, like more repetitive than EVW's thumbnails. Anyway, unlike Silent Club, this level seems to have effort put into the decoration. The creator actually tried some pretty unique ideas for decoration for the time. For example, look at this beginning ship part. The creator put gravity portals as decoration around the gameplay. This may not seem that impressive now, but compare that to Silent Club and you have another work of Picasso. Overall, the decoration is still very messy, but it doesn't look nearly as bad as Silent Club, which puts BP Night above it on this list. I put the Hell series from spot 25 to 23. Unfortunately, I can't really order these because they are basically carbon copies of one another. The thing that really makes these levels stand out on this list so far is the gameplay. Compared to our other picks, this gameplay is very unique and has a style that is only specific to something that someone would create. If it weren't for the gameplay this level offers, the Hell series would be way further down because of the lackluster decoration. On the flip side, if the decoration was cleaned up a bit, or had more care put into it, it would be much higher than what it is right now. These levels have a lot of potential, but poor decoration keeps these levels from going any higher than 23. Now that we are finally done with horrible 1.6 levels or whatever, we can finally move on to our first truly recognizable demon, being Sakupin Hell. This level has much more effort put into it, and the decoration looks miles better than anything lower than this on this list. If that is the case, why is it still so low? This level is practically unplayable. It has some of the most unplayable gameplay that I've ever seen. The only gameplay that is worse than this is anything by Zygost. I don't even know how to describe this level other than saying it's just unplayable. If it had better gameplay, I can promise you that it would be much, much higher than 22 on this list. Next on our list at spot 21 is Ice Carbon Diablo X. This level is much better than Sakupin Hell because it is actually playable. The last ship isn't too bad and the ship before it is really fun. The main issue with this level is the balancing and the decoration. Everything that is ship plus 40% and the 64% ball is way harder than everything else. This leads to a very boring level that is just filled with choke points. It is hard to do runs on this level because it is very boring, and going from 0 is very frustrating because you never stop dying at 40. The decoration is definitely worse than Sakupin Hell, but because this level is actually playable and even fun at times, I have to put ICDX above Sakupin Hell. To round out the 20s, I put Demon Park as my next pick. This is the level that birthed a new difficulty rating after the level name. This level was a catalyst for a new age of difficulty. So what do I think about this level? All around, this is a solid level, but messy and simplistic design holds it back. One could argue that because it was made so early, I should cut it some slack, but unfortunately, that doesn't change the fact that I am comparing it to other demons with today's standards in mind. If Demon Park had better presentation and less holes in the design, it would be higher. Nonetheless, it is a solid level that deserves its spot at number 20. Next up on the list is Phobos. Phobos is a very special level. I've never really seen a level quite like Phobos. It is very unique. That isn't always a good thing, nor is that always a bad thing. I do think that it is better than Demon Park due to its more polished finish and better decoration. For example, look at Tigresuck's part. Very colorful air decoration combined with complex designs. That's wonderful. Unfortunately, that isn't the quality throughout the level. You start this level, you think it's going well, all seems normal, nothing out of the blue, and then you see Carnarvon's part. Things like this is what keeps the level at the bottom of the list. Not to mention the gameplay. Oh, the gameplay, it's just no. It's awkward, it's buggy, and it's not a lot of fun. No thank you, pass. One thing that this level does have going for it is its nostalgia factor. This level is incredibly nostalgic to me, probably because of how weird and unique it is, especially for the time it was created. Overall, a very weird, inconsistent level, but I like it, so I believe it belongs at spot 19. The current top 1 resides at spot 18. Tartarus is a very average level in my opinion. I like the decoration at the end quite a bit, and I also like the part near 46, but overall, it is just good. It is not bad, and it is nothing even close to exceptional. It is so painfully average that it makes Nickelback look unique, and that's saying a lot. I will leave you guys with this though. It is way harder than it looks. Good luck if you're trying to beat it. Next we have Sonic Wave. This level is a very influential top 1 that is cemented in Geometry Dash history due to its rivalry with Bloodbath and the protagonists associated with each level. I really like the wave gameplay in this level. It somehow stays very unique and original while being composed of 54% of the level. Not only are the wave parts unique, but they are also really fun. That being said, there are some things that I don't like about this level, such as the ship part, the ball, some parts of the second wave, and the balancing especially. In the words of Garfield Gaming, this level is more unbalanced than a wheelchair on a tightrope. Other than that, I do like this level and think it belongs at spot 17. My next pick is Future Demoness. I really like the colors in this level. It makes me so happy to see the theme of a top 1 be a level without a theme. Just a lot of vibrant colors that matches the level layout. I really like how unique and clean cut everything looks. What prevents this from getting into the top half of the list is how repetitive it is. If the level wasn't as consecutive as it is, then it would probably be higher than number 16 on this list. In the middle of this list, we have To the Grave at spot 15. I actually really like this level. The decoration is very clean and flows very well, and the structuring is very appealing to me. Why am I talking like this? I love the gameplay. It seems very original to me and it looks to be very fun. The reason why this level isn't higher is because of the time period that it was made in. Not only is the decoration lackluster, but it doesn't really have a theme. Almost every level ahead of this one has a theme or atmosphere, which is why they are above this one on this list. Because it was made so early, it just doesn't look as good as some of the other levels, which is why it is in the middle of the list. After To the Grave, we have Cataclysm at spot 14. I never realized how much I like Cataclysm until I looked at it once more. I thought that it was subpar, but it actually holds up to today's standards. I do enjoy the quote-unquote memories section. I think that part has by far the best decoration out of the entire level. I think that it is just a solid level with a lot of good parts. The main reason that this level is so high up is because of how iconic it is. Because of what it has done in terms of progression of the game, I do like this level quite a bit. Without Cataclysm, there would be no Bloodbath, Bloodlust, Yatagarasu, Sonic Wave, the Sonic Wave Race, Riots, Thunders, Serves, and Kesar's popularity would all be affected, and the list goes on and on. So many things would be lost if this level did not come into existence. Not to say that this level is only good because of its importance, but when you pair it with the quality of the level, it makes for an excellent top 1. There are so many iconic things that are in this level, and that this level has done to make this one of the most recognizable top 1s in the game. At spot 13, we have a Thanatos. This is the transition from the top 1s that I think are good to the top 1s that I really do like. To begin, I really like the song and the decoration. The song is very pretty, which matches the name of the level, and the decoration has a lot of red and black that is balanced incredibly well. The only thing holding this back from being higher on the list is the fact that the gameplay and the balancing is really not good. All of the difficulty comes from the waves at the end of the level, which means that the level can become incredibly frustrating to play at times. Another complaint of mine is that the decoration in the second half is very poor compared to the decoration at the beginning, in my opinion. It goes from beautiful hues of red and black to a red background filled to the brim with black edges, and FYI, the mirror portal does not help. Coming in at number 12 is Yatagarasu. The low ranking may surprise some people, but I just do not like this level that much. I don't like the color scheme that much. It is either really dark red and black or painful bright red. The gameplay is alright in some spots, but it just doesn't really resonate with me. I will praise it for having unique gameplay in some spots, such as the ball spiky switchy section, and it does have some nice art. It is a good level, but nothing exceptional in my opinion, which grants it a spot at number 12. Just outside of the top 10, we have Erebus. I like a lot of things about Erebus. Some of the gameplay is great, some of the art is great, there are some really iconic things about this level. But there are a lot of things that really bring it down. The first 5% is horrible to play, the maze is awful, and the drop to the wavespan is not fun. The decoration is alright in some parts and horrible in others. I hate the color scheme, as the green is so bright, but I do really like it when there's a small amount of contrast against the black. For example, look at the final 22% of the level. It is mostly black with small amounts of neon green to contrast it. This looks great, and I wish the entire level would have been decorated like this. Not only is that decorated beautifully, but the gameplay is also extremely fun. Anyways, it is a good level, but if a couple of things were fixed up, it could be so much better. I may lose some of you guys here because of how controversial this pick is, but I believe that Extreme Park should be the level to kick off the top 10. I know what you guys are thinking. Dude, that's a 1.2 demon, why is it so high? And I will respond to you that this level was way ahead of its time, especially for a top 1. The Q parts in this level are nothing short of mesmerizing. The only reason this isn't higher is because the ship part ruins the captivating magic that this level has. There is a certain charm this level has because of the structuring of the maze. It reminds me of construction beams, and I'm all for it. If it wasn't for that dang ship, this level would be much higher. Every level has that vice, and some levels have a vice that is much stronger than others. This is a vice that prevents this level from being much higher than what it sits at currently. I could go on and on about how cool the gameplay is, but long story short, I'm in love with the gameplay, and I think it is cool enough to warrant a place at spot 10. At spot number 9, we have Bloodbath. This level is a very solid pick if you choose to do it. It looks very good, especially for the time. The decoration doesn't obstruct the gameplay. The gameplay is very solid, each part flows together very well, and it is a very iconic level. Wow, that's a lot of varies, I just realized that. One thing that I don't like about this level is the balancing. Crack and Michigan are by far the hardest parts of the level, with Etzer and Jaboy not far behind. Overall, this is a very good level that completely deserves its spot in number 9. Placing at spot 8, I put Crimson Planet. I really like this level. I know a lot of people don't like this level all that much because it doesn't really have a purpose except to be really hard, but I think this level is pretty solid nonetheless. This level fits with the song beautifully. The decoration looks really good, especially for a hell level, and the gameplay looks pretty fun and unique considering how hard this level is by today's standards. I also like how the decoration doesn't obscure the gameplay, but enhance it. I can't explain why I like this level, but there just really isn't anything wrong with it, and I love it. For my number 7 spot, I put Stalemate Redux. This is another level that I really like, but I can't really explain why. I really like the atmosphere it pulls off. It is very dark, but it also has bright colors that contrast the absence of light at the drop. The pre-drop is ominous and perfectly builds up the intensity until the drop occurs. I think it deserves to go above Crimson Planet because it has a much more constructed atmosphere. Unfortunately, I do think that this level is a little bit too dark, which prevents it from moving any higher on this list. Next up, we have Plasma Pulse Finale. I really like this level because of how unique it is. It has a kind of style that only Smokes and Gyron can pull off in their Plasma Pulse series. The decoration is very unique and doesn't obstruct the gameplay. There is no repetition, and it doesn't limit itself to a certain game mode like some other levels do. One thing that prevents it from reaching a higher spot is the fact that the gameplay is questionable at times. I mean, it is very unique, but that isn't always a good thing. For example, I don't think the teleporters are used effectively in this UFO section, but like I said, it isn't all bad. To prove this, just look at this wave, this wingcopter, and this ship. Anyway, enough rambling about the gameplay of Plasma Pulse Finale. This is a very solid level that is deserving of the number 6 spot. At number 5, we have Zodiac. At first, I wasn't too fond of this level, mostly because the decoration seemed very average to me. But the more I look at this level, the more I like it. The decoration actually looks very good, and all of the parts flow together very nicely. Not to mention that the decoration is very vibrant and colorful, which definitely brings the level quality up. The gameplay doesn't look repetitive and is pretty unique most of the time. The only thing holding this back is the balancing, as the second half of this level is much harder than the first. Not only that, but there are some parts that are very easy compared to other parts. Like, look at this. Does this look like they are the same difficulty? Balancing aside, I would also like to mention the song. Xander chose one of the best Creo songs for his Mega Collab. Props to him for choosing a Creo song, and props to Creo for making amazing music. Anyway, if it wasn't for poor balancing, this level would be higher on the list. That being said, number 5 is not a bad spot at all. Taking 4th place is Digital Descent. This level is very good from the song, to the decoration, to the style. I do have a couple of negative things to say about it though. First off, I don't think it is a good sequel to Artificial Ascent at all. Secondly, the quality in some parts is not as great as others. For example, I don't like Etzer's part in this level, nor 89 to 100. It is very still and doesn't look very clean. On the flip side, there's some extraordinary parts. I really like Abstract Dark, Mannix, Black, Galvatron, and Serpunge. Not only is the decoration good in these areas, but the gameplay is also very good in my opinion. There are not a lot of repetitive parts, and every part does seem very original, although, like I said, 89 to 100 is questionable in terms of gameplay as well. Also, I would like to mention the balancing. The middle is much harder compared to other parts, which is very unfortunate. The reason why this is ahead of Zodiac is because of the superior decoration. Overall, this is a very solid level with very solid decoration, a very good song, and I don't even know, it's just a great level. Taking home the bronze is Artificial Ascent. I had a hard time deciding between this and Digital Descent, but Artificial came out on top because of its consistent decoration and better balancing. This level is very good. Let me cover the tiny amount of bad things first. This part isn't finished, and the gameplay's inconsistent. And that's about it. Now for the good stuff. Not only does it have an amazing song and amazing colors, it also has incredible originality. Just look at Etzer's part. Simply amazing, let alone when it was released. With all that said, how could it get any better? Well, I will show you with the next two entries. The next spot goes to another level that I can barely see, which is the green and... Okay. The Golden is a level that was created by mostly challenge players, which means that this level is not like other levels. It's different. No. Okay, for real, it has a different feeling than a lot of other levels because the gameplay is just so much different. It's as if a challenge was extended into a full level, and I love it. It really makes the level stand out in terms of gameplay. The theming is the one of many things that makes this level place above all the rest of the levels, in my opinion. It is dark, it is gloomy, it is tight, it just has this atmosphere that is really ominous, which is very nice. That being said, it can also contribute to its downfall. The decoration is something that is holding it back in my opinion. The decoration is so dark, it obscures a lot of the gameplay, which I do not like because it doesn't pull it off too well. If there wasn't so much darkness in the way of actual decoration, then it probably would have been number 1 on this list. But what is number 1? At number 1, we have Bloodlust. I consider this to be the greatest top 1 for a couple of reasons. First of all, the decoration is simply stunning. So much care and effort went into this level and it shows. Minus the part before the corridor. That part sucks. Speaking of the corridor, this part is simply amazing. The gameplay in this part is good, although a tad bit repetitive, but the flow of this part more than makes up for it. The decoration of this part is amazing. It all works together so well. The gameplay at the end is amazing, the end screen looks incredible, and the redecorated bloodbath looks absolutely spectacular. There's a ton more to say about the level, but I will keep it brief and say that this level is by far the best top 1 ever verified because of its amazing decoration and originality. So there it is. That is my complete list of all of the top 1s that have been verified over the course of this game. Where did your favorite top 1 place? Do you disagree? Where do you think Extreme Park should have been placed? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more of my content to be notified when I upload, make sure to demolish that subscribe button and turn on... Okay, no. Thank you guys for watching. Here's some of my content. I hope you guys have a great rest of your days. Goodbye.